Thanks for joining us. A majority of the Supreme Court appears to want to uphold that controversial TikTok ban.
Today, justices heard oral arguments concerning the social media's app's ties to China and free speech protections. In April, Congress passed a law requiring TikTok's Chinese parent company to either sell the app or face it being shut down. The law is set to take effect on January 19th unless the High Court blocks it temporarily. A final decision on the ban's implementation date could come before the justices resolve any questions about First Amendment rights. Taylor Zebel tells us more about the case and what a local TikTok creator has to say about it.
Former Wisconsin Congressman Mike Gallagher is one of the advocates who helped write the bill last March. Congress is arguing TikTok should be banned not only because of government security threats, but also data mining and misinformation, which many users were not even aware of.
With no transparency in the algorithm, we don't really know what, how, or why we're seeing what we see on the TikTok app.
Bethany Worth is a beauty TikTok creator from Sheboygan. She first downloaded TikTok back in 2019 and uses the popular social media app to create makeup and lifestyle content. She says this potential ban will have a huge impact on her.
But I think it's really frustrating as a creator who has built an audience and a community gradually. I've spent years and put in lots of effort into building this platform for myself. And just to know that it could be all taken away is really frustrating.
She is using the money she makes off the app to pay for her college tuition. If the app becomes no longer usable, she says shifting to a different platform could be really difficult.
But I will say that the different platforms like YouTube and Instagram, they're not like TikTok. They're a completely different vibe. So if TikTok does get banned and we have to move over to those platforms, it's definitely going to be different.
TikTok could be blocked in the U.S. as early as January 19th. In Green Bay, Taylor Zebel, Action 2 News.